Hi, I'm Leanne Cusumano Roque, certified Iyengar Yoga Teacher at Yoga for All Bodies in Reston, Virginia in the United States. Today we're looking at plank pose. Plank can be done by itself, or it can be used as a transition pose in sun salutations between upward facing dog, downward facing dog, and the yoga push-up chaturanga dandasana. So let's just look at the pose first. So this is what plank looks like. Now, let's talk about 3 keys for the upper body, 3 keys for the lower body, and then 3 variations. The first thing that gets talked about a lot is the placement of the hands. Some people talk about placing the hands right under the shoulders. But if you do that, the upper arm bone doesn't have the space it needs in the shoulder socket. You can see, if I look towards you, that the arm is rolling in and you're getting compression here in the shoulder joint. You don't want that. It's not good for the joint. So take your wrists forward of your shoulders. That's the first piece for the upper body. Okay, so one way you can do that is you can take your hands to the front of the mat so that your wrist is forward of the shoulder. And then that allows you to get the proper placement for the pose. The second part of the upper body is that this part of the back of the armpit has to move back. When you're in the pose, it's actually towards the ceiling. So right back here has to move back so that these muscles, serratus anterior and other muscles, engage and are able to support you. So I'll show you what it looks like when it's done properly, and then I'll show you what it looks like when we collapse. So here I am. If I lift those muscles towards the ceiling, you can see I've got a lot of stability in the joint. If I let them collapse down, now I'm hanging in the shoulder joint, and that's not good for the joint. So you have to lift that part of the back of the armpit up. That's the second piece. The third piece is the head. The head weighs 10 to 15 pounds. So you don't want to let it hang down when you're in the pose because it'll just pull you down. Nor do you want to have the head crank back because that'll bother your cervical spine, your neck. Instead, get the head in line with the rest of the spine and let the eyes look slightly forward. So that's the third piece. Here's 1, wrists forward of the shoulders. 2, draw that back armpit towards the ceiling. And 3, have the head in line with the spine, with the eyes looking slightly forward. And then you can come into the pose. Those are the 3 parts of the upper body. Now let's talk about the lower body. You have a lower abdomen and an upper abdomen. If you feel the bones here of your pelvic rim, and you find where your belly button is, then you place your hand between where the pelvic rim is and where the belly button is, and then lift your hand by lifting the lower abdomen to the upper abdomen. That gives you a lot of stability in the core and protects your back. So that's the first part of the lower body. Okay. So here I am. You can take your hand there for a moment to move the lower abdomen to the upper abdomen, and then you need to maintain that as you come into the pose, right? Versus this, the sag, right? So lower abdomen to the upper abdomen. The second part of the lower body is the placement of the sit bones. A lot of times, because the core is weak, what'll happen is people come into the pose like this. Right? The sit bones will be in the air, buttocks in the air. That's not right. So you have to move the middle buttock in, take the lower abdomen to the upper abdomen, and then you've got the right placement for the core to support you. The third piece is the legs. Sometimes the legs don't know what to do, so they collapse down. Instead, you have to lift the back thighs towards the ceiling and press the heels back. All right, so here we go. Lower abdomen to the upper abdomen. Keep the middle buttock in. So no sinking in the legs. Instead, press the back thighs towards the ceiling and then press the heels back. If you want extra feedback on that, you can put your heels back against the wall so that you really have something to press forward and press back into with the legs. Okay? So those are the three pieces for the lower body, putting it all together. Hands forward to the shoulders. Upper back, the armpits moving towards the ceiling. Head in line with the spine with the eyes looking slightly forward. And notice I walk my knees back so I don't have to do too much positioning to get up into the pose. Move the lower abdomen to the upper abdomen. Keep the middle buttock in. Press the heels back. Thighs up. And there you are in the pose. Now let's say that it's too much to work on the floor right now for you. 3 variations, and you can work with any of them. First variation is against the wall. Right? So if you take your hands to the wall, again, you're going to want your wrists slightly forward of the shoulders. So don't put them parallel to the floor. Lift them up a little bit. Spread the hands. Walk the feet back. Okay? And all the same things apply. Wrists forward of the shoulders. Back armpit moving back towards the wall behind you. Head in line with the spine. Eyes looking slightly forward and up. And the same thing with the legs. Okay? Make the legs work. And you can work on the pose here at the wall. As you progress, the next thing you can do is take a chair and work on the chair. Hands again forward, legs back. Move the upper arm or back armpits towards the ceiling. Press the heels back, lift the back thighs up, middle buttock in, lower abdomen to the upper abdomen. And then once you're able to bear the weight in those poses, and you're getting ready to come to the floor, the next piece is the bricks, or if you have a shoulder injury, whatever it is. You know, every day is different. You're going to take your hands to the bricks. Again, wrists are forward to the shoulders. Back armpit towards the ceiling. Head in line with the spine, eyes forward. And then push the heels back. Lower abdomen to the upper abdomen. Middle buttock in. Thighs lifted, heels back. Okay. And eventually, you'll get to the full pose. Okay. Lower abdomen to the upper abdomen. And there you go. That's plank pose. 3 points in the upper body, 3 points in the lower body, and 3 variations. Enjoy.